Hello and welcome to the Select Board update for the meeting that happened on Wednesday, October 21st. We are still doing our meetings via Zoom, all virtually, so that we are all staying safe. We started the meeting at 6 p.m. with citizens participation. We had one or two people participate. We had a 6:15 hearing with Eversource for a new pole placement at 311 Pleasant Street. That's in front of the VFW building. They are looking to do a solar array, and the pole is needed to connect that. They'll underground the power, and then the pole will take it up to the grid. We had some questions, but we did approve the pole with some conditions. We reviewed our consent agenda as we waited for our 7 p.m. appointment. We approved some minutes from our regular session meeting and from a scholarship meeting. We declared an item surplus, and we accepted a donation for our animal adoption program. We then went into a discussion about from old and new business. We discussed and voted to approve money from our Board of Selectmen gift program, our gift funds, to provide lunch for our senior citizens. Every Monday, the seniors are eligible to go and grab lunch at the community center, and on Veterans Day, or the Monday that Veterans Day is being celebrated, that will be sponsored by the Board of Selectmen, and we're hoping that a few of us can be there. We then moved into our 7 o'clock appointment, and it was a rather lengthy discussion with Rich Gordon. This was a continuing discussion about the buildings at 10 to 50 Main Street. They came back with some changes. They've reduced the number of apartments from 280 to 234, which we still feel is a little large, but we're going to continue the discussion. We did get some more questions answered. There's been a lot of discussion about what is happening with the Granite Mill buildings. In their review and their discussion to us, they're going to save the facade of the two Granite Mill buildings at the very front and about 30 feet back. Based on their information, they're saying that they can't keep the whole buildings. So we're going to go into discussion and see if we can help them or encourage them to do that. They have agreed that affordable housing on that location is very important, and they're trying to do this with the 40R, which is a smart growth funding, so that it gets them some additional funds from state and federal government. Smart growth meaning you try to have housing and work near transit so that there aren't as many cars on the road. We were on with them for about an hour and a half. We did have some citizens participate and ask questions, and we thank those citizens for participating. And if you have any questions as you've seen this project, please email the select board, give us your feedback. That's the best way for us to get your information, is if you email the selectboard@ashlandmass.com, or reach out to any of us individually. We're all available for phone calls and discussion. We then discussed a letter that we are presenting to the Secretary of Transportation, Secretary Pollock, regarding the I-90 Alston interchange. This is a huge project that's being discussed to straighten out the Mass Turnpike, possibly move Sturrow Drive, possibly add an additional train station, and add some new infrastructure where the turnpike currently takes a bend and then goes into what's called the throat. The throat is that section between BU, Boston University, and the Charles River. It gets very narrow there. They're trying to get 3 roads and a train and all kinds of stuff in that throat. And there's 2 things that are driving this project. One is the age of the viaduct, so where the turnpike goes up right now and where Sturrow Drive is below. That infrastructure is starting to see wear and tear and needs to be replaced. And also with the purchase of the property a number of years ago by Harvard University, people are wanting to make that a little bit more of a neighborhood rather than just empty space where the train tracks used to be. So we approved the letter, and that will be going out. We then had a discussion with Beth Reynolds, our Economic Development Director, for 2 of our our business incentive grant program. So businesses in town can come and ask for grant money and also get help approving loans that are low interest for them. We had 2 businesses come forward. The first is Madras Markey for 59 Pond Street, and the second was Alan McIntosh for Doragon Ramen. They are now changing their business or looking to change it to Doragon Collective, and they're going to be having not only their restaurant and their bubble tea, but also a place where you can purchase different grocery items related to the kind of food that they serve. And we approved both of those and hope that they do well. We reviewed and approved proposals to uh, discount or remove the liquor license for the for calendar year 21. So January 1st to December 21st of 21, we have decided that our all alcohol and limited alcohol restaurants do not have to pay their fee this year. That will cost the town about $28,000 in income, but we feel that if we can help our businesses, specifically our restaurants that are being very um, very much impacted by COVID and their businesses are being impacted. If we can do this small thing for each of them, then and they can stay in business, we felt that that was a very important thing to do. Similar to our housing program where we're trying to assist residents who are having issues paying their rent. We are trying to do as much as we can to support as many people as possible here in Ashland through this whole COVID process. We then discussed and signed a deed and easement for the Riverwalk project back in the spring. We had talked about an easement. It was approved, but the paperwork had not been signed. So we just had to take care of some dotting some I's and crossing some T's and getting that paperwork taken care of. We then had project updates on our priority project updates. The Rail Transit District, UGC, is going to be going before the ZBA for their project up on the Memorial Drive, what used to be the MBTA access road. So that should hopefully be moving soon. They're looking to hopefully break ground. They're trying to fight the weather. We also discussed downtown. We are going to be moving forward soon. Again, our Public Works Department is trying to get some work done in regards to the undergrounding of some of our utilities. And we have asked that information gets sent out to residents on a weekly basis as to how you're going to be impacted by traffic and road work in downtown. It was described similar as a project that Weston, Massachusetts is doing, where they have undergrounded their utilities, and we are hoping it goes a little bit smoother and not as long. From there, we talked about the public safety building. So that is moving forward. We are almost very close to getting actual budgets for the public safety building there, so that they'll have a number for the residents that will know what that will cost us. We also did discuss that the gift that we were given by Fafford, he's having some, we don't have the deed yet. We don't have the letter yet for that. And we are working on that to try to make sure we have the deed and the property in hand. We talked about the Warren District and the Valentine Estate. It's been interesting because I know I've driven by the Valentine Estate and I see that hole in the roof. And in talking to Town Manager Michael Herbert about it, he said, well, the roof is not really our issue. It is the foundation of the barn. So we could go on and spend some money doing a new roof, but we really are looking at how we can shore up the foundation for that first. And then we had, the last thing we had was a COVID update / discussion about Halloween here in Ashland. We have decided that we're going to go with the guidelines from the state in regards to what people should do for Halloween. We are certainly discouraging parties, get-togethers of neighbors. If not, you know, we ask that you be safe. We ask that if you do decide to do trick-or-treating as a family, that you do it safely, that you're wearing masks, that you stay away from other groups. We ask that if you're handing out candy, that you do it as safely as possible. Again, the guidelines from the state, one of the great guidelines that I saw made perfect sense is rather than putting your candy in a bowl, put it on a platter and or hand it out by yourself rather than letting the children go in and grab it themselves. Please, whatever you decide to do for Halloween, be safe. The spooky walk that was going to be done at the Riverwalk has been canceled. We felt that it was just not safe at this point to do a large organized event where many people would come together. And that was our meeting for Wednesday, October 21st. Thanks for watching the Select Board Update.